covering this new development from both inside and outside of City Hall. We're going to start with CBS 42 News reporter Cameron Edgeworth, who is currently inside of Council Chambers. Cameron, what is the atmosphere like in there?
Well, Lee, that meeting is about to begin in 15 minutes, so people are just kind of slowly coming in, but there are a lot of police here in City Council chambers. Now, take a look at this video from the scene that night. We are working to hear from city councilors about the impact the community is experiencing after the deadly officer-involved shooting at the Galleria Thanksgiving night. Investigators say 21-year-old E.J. Bradford was shot and killed by police after being mistaken as a gunman in the shooting police were responding to. Now, investigators say E.J. did have a gun in hand. The gunman responsible for the shooting is still at large. Now, the city released a statement saying that everything, including surveillance video and body camera video, has been handed over to the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency. Mayor Frank Mercado says he wants to meet with the Bradford family. We are still waiting to hear more details on that. Again, this meeting begins at 12:15, and as soon as we learn any new details or if we hear from City Council, we'll let you know on air, online, and with our mobile app. But for now, reporting live in Hoover, Cameron Edgeworth, CBS 42 News. Local coverage you can count on.
All right, Cameron, thanks so much. And CBS 42 News reporter Robert Sherman continuing our live team coverage now outside of City Hall. Robert, there was a big protest there last night, a much quieter scene out there today.
That's exactly right, Lee. We've started to see a few people trickle by, making their way inside of City Hall. Nobody outside here right now, but as you said, it's quite the tumultuous scene last night. The protest began right over here. You had about 50 to 75 people with bullhorns and firing off chants, as this protest began. Now you take a look at this area right now. Things have really changed a lot as it's a much quieter scene. Let's walk through what happened last night. At around 6 p.m., just an hour after Hoover Mayor Frank Mercado's press conference, protesters arrived here with signs and bullhorns. Crowd grew above that original 50 to 75 mark. People were chanting, singing, praying, and calling for justice. After several protesters spoke, one protester took the bullhorn and said, "We are about to do something that could get us arrested. If you are not ready for that, leave now." And that's when the whole crowd marched towards Highway 31, right by City Hall, and occupy the streets to stop traffic flowing both directions. An act that one of the protesters told me was all about creating discomfort. Organizers told me last night that they intended to be back here last night. We've already started to see Hoover police try and take preemptive measures for this. Take a look at this right over here. There's actually a barricade set up in this parking lot. This is all right where that protest happened. You walk back over this way, you're seeing several different Hoover police cars. So if something does end up happening here after that Hoover City Council meeting or during that City Council meeting, it seems so that Hoover police are prepared for it. Live in Hoover, Robert Sherman, CBS 42 News. Local coverage you can count on.
All right, Robert, thank you as well. The shooting at the River Chase Galleria is drawing national attention as authorities continue their investigation. It's a story of national interest for several reasons. That's why it's also brought national reporters to town. We've seen a number of those national media outlets here, from CBS News to CNN and others. We wanted to know what people who live here think about that. We asked some of them if they were concerned that a story like this might make the area look bad, and here's what they had to say.
I don't think it makes Hoover look bad, just like Parkland, Florida didn't make that look bad or anything else. It's going to happen. It's part of the national epidemic.
It make this place it do look bad. I mean, because we really don't need that. We're going back, going back to the bombs over here. I thought we had moved forward, and we need to press on to do better, and just pray that we all get it together.
And one of the people we spoke with says she believes there is a national epidemic of gun violence. You just heard from her right there. And this is just the latest situation. Stay with CBS42.com and the CBS 42 News app throughout the day for continuing coverage of all of the latest developments regarding the Galleria shooting. Well, switching gears, we also have breaking news right now in Birmingham, where an 18-wheeler has overturned at what's known as Dead Man's Curve. That's the westbound I-20 ramp that brings you into Birmingham. We're told the truck was hauling aluminum. Luckily, the driver was not hurt. And it is another very bitterly cold day here in Birmingham Metro. We're taking a live look right now at the tower camera high atop Red Mountain, and get ready to turn up the heat. According to Nate, the temperatures are only going to drop again tonight. Nate, they aren't going to get any better today either. Is that right?
No, not really. I mean, if you look at our average highs and lows, we'll be way below those. We should be around 60 degrees or so for an afternoon temperature. about 15 to 20 degrees below that for this afternoon. It's a pretty looking picture out in Anniston, but it's just cold everywhere you look across the deep south. And we're clear, but it is chilly. 39 degrees right now in Birmingham. We've got some spots that are creeping into the 40s, low 40s in Anniston, Tuscaloosa, and Alabaster, but we've had some wind develop too. 5, 10, 15 miles per hour in some spots, and that makes it feel even colder out there. It feels like 31 in Birmingham. It feels like right at 30 in Gadsden, and it's not going to get too much warmer for this afternoon as highs only get to the low 40s, and we're right back below freezing by 9 o'clock tonight and below the 30-degree mark by midnight. So this might be a night that you drip those pipes a little bit, because we're going to have a prolonged stretch of about 5 to 6 hours of temperatures in the 20s. Might not be a bad idea. We'll talk more about a gradual warm-up. That's coming up in the forecast, as long as rain chances too. We'll talk about those in a few minutes. Lee, back over to you.
Thanks, Nate. Speaking of, the Boutwell Auditorium in downtown Birmingham will be open again tonight for anyone who needs a warm place to stay. Food will also be provided. Those doors will be open from 5 o'clock tonight until 7 tomorrow morning. New at noon, a Mobile man is accused of shooting his 9-year-old daughter during a child custody dispute. According to investigators, Robert Hooper shot his daughter in the shoulder while firing at a moving car. Other children and a woman believed to be the child's mother were also in that car. Hooper faces several charges, including attempted murder and reckless endangerment. And right now, Birmingham police are asking for your help identifying the man who they say robbed a Walgreens last week. Police tell us the holdup happened at the Walgreens on Claremont Avenue Monday, November 19th. The man that you see right here allegedly presented a note demanding various items. He left the store with an undetermined amount of drugs. Police ask that anyone who knows who this man is call Crime Stoppers at 254-7777. You can remain anonymous. And right now we're following some breaking news in Dallas, Texas. That's where firefighters are battling a 4-alarm fire at an apartment complex. We're told 3 firefighters were rescued after a roof collapsed. So far, 1 firefighter and a woman have been taken to the hospital. We're also following some breaking news out of Afghanistan, where the Taliban is claiming responsibility for the death of 3 U.S. service members. We're told the troops were killed this morning in a roadside bombing. 3 other U.S. service members and an American contractor were also wounded. Be sure to tune in to the CBS Evening News with Jeff Glor for a closer look at both of these breaking stories. That begins right after the CBS 42 News at 5. Get to check your time. It's now 12:08. It may be difficult to find the perfect Christmas tree, at least at a reasonable price this year. We'll tell you the reason why. That is straight ahead. You are watching the CBS 42 News at noon. Keep it right here. We'll be right back.
You're watching CBS 42 local coverage you can count on with Lee Garner and meteorologist Nate Harrington. This is CBS 42 News at noon.
New at noon, Amazon announces a record-breaking holiday shopping weekend this year's Cyber Monday. Once again, the single biggest shopping day in the company's history. Amazon says from Thanksgiving to Cyber Monday, customers ordered more than 180 million items. Toys and electronics, some of the most popular orders. Other bestsellers, though, Amazon's Echo Dot, Instapots, and Ancestry DNA tests. But today is Giving Tuesday. It's an opportunity to help those in need, like the victims of those recent wildfires in California or perhaps Hurricane Michael in Florida. The annual Day for Giving Back raised more than $300 million online last year. All right, so it might be a little bit harder to find your perfect Christmas tree this year. That's because there's actually a nationwide tree shortage. And according to the Pacific Northwest Christmas Tree Association, the 2008 recession is to blame. They say there was an oversupply a decade ago and growers planted fewer trees to save money. But the effects are now being felt across the U.S., so that does include higher prices by up to 10%.
Touchdown confirmed.
Did you see it? Going viral, a celebratory handshake between two members of the NASA Mars InSight team. It happened just moments after what engineers called 7 minutes of terror. Yeah, as they waited for the lander to pull off a soft landing on the red planet nearly 7 months after it launched. Now, InSight has already sent back its first 2 pictures from Mars. Very, very cool. These images came into our newsroom just this morning. NASA says InSight has sent signals to Earth indicating that its solar panels are open and they are collecting sunlight on the Martian surface, and that deserves a little celebration.
Yes, it does. Hey. Yes.
Yeah, we got that down pat.
Nailed it.
That's
We just came up with that.
Did we, or have we always had that in the bag?
Well, it's always been there.
It's always been there, but you were telling me some hilarious stuff about the rover as well.
So the rover Curiosity and the lander InSight, they were going back and forth on Twitter. They both have their own Twitter accounts.
Go follow them right now.
They're sentient beings, but yeah, it's a very funny thread. Go check it out.
A little exchange between the two. 12:14 now, a big honor for one of music's leading ladies, and it's happening right here on CBS 42. We've got all the details coming up. Nate?
Yeah, we've got a lot of sunshine, but it is just plain cold outside in Homewood. We'll talk about the slight warm-up and rain chances ahead in your forecast when we get back.
You're watching CBS 42, local coverage you can count on. This is the CBS 42 News at Noon.
We're continuing to follow that breaking news of a special called Hoover City Council meeting. A live look for you right now inside council chambers. We are streaming the protest live on our website, cbs42.com. All right, now over here in the Storm Team Weather Center with Nate Harrington. A chilly day out there, but a gorgeous one.
Yeah, a lot of sunshine. Can't argue with that, but the camera's shaking a little bit in Homewood. Yeah, it's a little windy, it's a little cold. So it feels about, I don't know, 10 degrees cooler than it actually is outside. And the temperatures aren't going to get too warm either for tomorrow. We'll see a little improvement, but not much, especially for the morning. We'll talk about that in a little bit. 39 right now with the wind out of the northwest at around 13, so it feels like 31 degrees. It's very dry out there, too, so we don't expect a whole lot of movement in these temperatures for the rest of the day, unfortunately. It is a cold, frigid air mass sitting right over central Alabama. 35 Coleman, 36 Hamilton, 38 Fayette, 36 in Asheville. There will be some spots today that do not get out of the 30s, that won't reach 40 degrees. And with that wind that you see out of the northwest and west at 5, 10, 15 miles per hour, it feels more like 29 still in Coleman, feels like 28 in Hamilton, feels like 27 in Asheville. You get the picture. Just a frigid, blustery day out there. Please protect yourself from the cold. It's kind of ridiculous to talk about that during the middle of the day, but it's dangerous cold out there, folks. You don't want to be caught outside for too long without proper coatage, if that's a word. So we're talking about the Deep South, a mostly clear sky out there. Temperatures will be cold once again for tonight, dropping down into the 30s and 20s. Might be a good time to drip those pipes just in case outside. Then 50s for tomorrow afternoon, especially in our west and southwestern counties, while everybody else is in the upper and mid 40s. And then Thursday, a little bit of recovery, not quite as cold for Thursday morning. And that starts a warming trend in general for us Thursday and Friday, but rain chances we'll be watching very closely through Friday afternoon into Friday night and Saturday. It looks like a very soggy weekend for us, and that means, unfortunately, a soggy time in Atlanta for the SEC Championship game. If you want to be out exploring the town, it is going to be wet for you. 43 degrees for this afternoon. A little bit of breeze out there out of the northwest makes it feel about 6, 7, 8 degrees colder. Clear and cold tonight. Numbers in the 20s widespread. 50 for tomorrow afternoon, mostly cloudy and warmer Thursday, and then rain chances move in, especially late Friday and early Saturday, and we're going to be watching for the potential of some thunderstorms, maybe some strong ones. Your Lunch Punch winner for today is April Lewis at Tuscaloosa. Congratulations. You've won yourself a free lunch courtesy of Jets Pizza in Hoover, CBS42.com. As always, the place to sign up and be a part of our Lunch Bunch today, Lee.
Hey, Nate, thanks so much. Time now 12:20. It was a big weekend at the box office. But this new film is already being called the biggest bomb of the year. We'll tell you the reason why. That's up next. You're watching the CBS 42 News at noon, a live look at 280. We'll be right back.
You're watching CBS 42, local coverage you can count on. This is the CBS 42 News at Noon.
Robin Hood has officially been crowned the biggest box office bomb of the year.
One thing keeps him in power: the money. We steal it.
The latest take on the Hollywood classic pulled in just $14 million over the Thanksgiving holiday weekend, making it the worst debut for any movie this year with a budget of $90 million or more. All right, so how would you like to own a piece of Hef's world? Hundreds of mementos from the legendary Playboy founder Hugh Hefner will be auctioned off in Beverly Hills this weekend. They include his signature red smoking jacket, his sailor's hat, and the iconic first Playboy issue cover featuring Marilyn Monroe. And legendary singer Gloria Estefan is about to host the Kennedy Center Honors for the first time. This year's honorees include Cher, composer Philip Glass, Reba McEntire, and jazz saxophonist Wayne Shorter. The primetime special airs right here on CBS 42 on December 26th.
Rudolph, Christmas is not off, and you're going to lead my team.
Classic, also on CBS 42, it's Rudolph, the Red-Nosed Reindeer. If you don't want to miss the holiday classic, it airs at 7 o'clock tonight, right here. Your time now, 12:24. Stay with us. The CBS 42 News at Noon continues in just a moment.